Hello and welcome back to the Man Cave. I'm the UP Gamer. Today we're going to play some more Raid Shadow Legends. And we're also going to look at some Dwarves. We're going to go over these champions one by one. I'll tell you what I think of each of them. And yeah, that's basically what we're doing for this video. Please remember to like and subscribe. I need more subscribers. I need more views. Tell your friends. You know, just keep stopping by. Alright, first one we're going to check out is Slicer. Definitely a very cool model. I'll dig the sword. That thing is awesome looking. He definitely got something in his hair. So he's just an uncommon. Decrease the cooldown of the cut apart skill by 1 if this attack kills an enemy and cut apart. 30% chance of placing a 30% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. He is not epic. He looks pretty badass. I even like his armor. Very cool model. So that is Slicer, Line Infantry. He also looks like he's wearing some studded or padded leather armor. Cool shield he's got. Yeah, he looks pretty cool. What's he do? Attacks one enemy, Spear Goad. 10% chance of provoking for 1 turn. And Rabble Rouser. Attacks 2 times at randoms, 25% chance of placing a provoke debuff for 1 turn. He is also not great, but that's kind of what you expect from the old uncommons. Alright, moving on to rare. Start with Grumbler. That's a dwarf. Dwarf. What does he do? Angry Mallet. Place a shield buff on this champion equals 10% of their hit points for 2 turns. That's not bad. 50% heal reduction for 2 turns. 3-turn cooldown. Shoulder the weight. 25% allied protection buff on all allies for 2 turns. Place the 30% increased defense buff on this champion for 2 turns. With the 5-turn cooldown, you can get it down to 3. That's actually pretty good. That ain't bad at all. And ally hit point increased by 25% in dungeons. Well, that's Grumbler. He ain't bad. He's not epic or anything, but he could be usable. Beast Wrestler. Wow, he's got quite the forehead. Yeah, that's... Alright, he's got his weighty cleaver attack here. Attacks one enemy 2 times, 20% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn. Enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived, so he could be usable in the Ice Golem's keep there, so he doesn't revive his add-ons. Increases damage inflicted by 50% for the first hit on each enemy. And that's a passive. That's kind of nice. Extra damage. Increase ally rate by 16% in arena. Crit rate. Alright. And there's an ad going on my copyright-free music. Honor Guard. He looks like he could be dead or something. Yellow eyes. What does Honor Guard do? 50% chance of placing a 25% decreased accuracy debuff for 2 turns if the target has no active buffs. That's not great. 50% chance of stealing 2 random buffs from the target. That's nice. That ain't bad. Astral Chain. 75% chance of placing a block buff debuff for 2 turns. That's pretty nice, actually. And increase force ally defense in all battles by 25%. That's not great. Honor Guard is not awesome. Not awesome. The Master Butcher. That is a kick-ass looking shield or mallet. I like it. He looks pretty ruthless. He's all tatted up on his arms and his beard's all goofy. 30% chance of placing a provoke debuff for 1 turn. Places a provoke debuff on target enemy for 2 turns. Places 15% increased crit rate on all allies for 2 turns, and 25% increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns. That is a nice skill, actually. Increases crit rate and attack and provokes. He's got 2 provokes. What's his passive do? When attacked, heals all allies equal to the amount of damage taken. Wow. That's called Heat Exchange. And he has another. This one does not work against bosses. This one revives a random ally with full hit points when this champion's killed. Well, the Master Butcher is quite the support unit. Very nice. What's his reviews look like? Yeah, very good for campaign and arena defense. I would guess arena defense would be a huge for this dude. Yeah, he's interesting for sure. Alright, and he was Spirit Void Champion. Who is this? Bulwark. And he is a defense unit. I'm not surprised by that. And he's got a flail. That's pretty cool. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 15% chance of placing a 15% weaken debuff for 2 turns. 75% chance of placing a hit point burn debuff for 2 turns. That's nice. And when attacked has a 30% chance of extending the duration of all debuffs on the attacker by 1 turn, which is very nice. And defense, increased defense in all battles by 17%. So, yeah, he'll be good for clan boss. With the hit point burn, he's got the weaken. I don't know if you're going to use him, but whenever he gets hit, he has a 30% chance of extending the debuffs on the attacker. So when clan boss attacks, he has a 30% chance of increasing all the poisons and hit point burns and defense, you know, everything. Everything on him by an extra turn, so that's pretty nice. That gives your whole team an extra chance to place it again or replace it if it needs to be. So, those are the rares. Moving on to the epics, and there's 2 of them. This is a magic Grizzled Jarl. Yeah, he's definitely, he looks like a defensive monster or champion for sure. What does the Grizzled Jarl do? Massive Halberd. 35% chance of placing a 100% heal reduction debuff for 2 turns. That's pretty good. Places a block debuff on all allies for 1 turn. Places a 60% increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns. That's pretty nice too. And attacks all enemies. 75% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Decreases each target's max hit points by 30% of the damage inflicted. Yeah, he'd be worth building if you get him. He's a support. I mean, you say it goes by defense, and his damage is going to be based on defense. Yeah, he's not bad at all. Not at all. Alright, Rockbreaker. Love the model. 2 huge hammers. The helmet, just like basically it's a giant bowl dome that covers his whole head with 2 little eye slits. Yeah, very kick-ass. What does Rockbreaker do? Whirling Hammers. Increases this champion's defense by 4% each time the skill is used, stacks up to 20%, and damage is based on defense. That's very nice, and he's a defensive monster, our champion as well. Chest Thump. 75% chance of placing a provoke debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. Places a counterattack buff on this champion for 2 turns. So that's very useful. So he provokes everybody, and then he's got counterattacks, so every time anything hits him, he hits him back. Probably with this, which is going to raise that defense to 20% real quick. Passive. 25% chance of decreasing damage inflicted on this champion by 50% each time this champion is attacked. Ironhide. Yeah, I like Rockbreaker. He'll be awesome for arena defense. And arena offense, apparently. Yeah, because he'll attack and he's provoking and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, he's obviously a very good monster. And then increase ally defense in the arena by 30%. Yep, not surprised at all. What was his reviews? Yep, arena defense campaign. He's got a 5 in the Spear Keep and Dragon's Lair. Skip that ad. And they play it again. I said skip it! Alright. And going on, last one. The legendary Mountain King. Ooh, definitely like the effects on the axe there. He's got a lot of beard. A lot of beard. And what does our Mountain King do? Attacks 1 enemy, damage based on hit point and attack. Well, that's not epic. Thunder Cleave. Enchanted Axe ignores 50% of the target's defense. And it is based on attack and hit points just like the first one. But it's 1 enemy. Okay, attacks one enemy, ignores shield and block damage buffs. But it's, again, just one attack. It's not overly destroying or anything of that sort. And Fabled Skill, passive. Level 1, increases this champion's attack by 50% each time this champion kills an enemy, stacks up to 100%. And it resets each round. So each round would be, you know, you go in, you're going to fight the first wave. Once those 5 are dead, you go to, you know, campaign level 2 out of 3 is basically you go to 2, and it would reset again. So his reviews, yeah, not great. I'm not surprised at all. So he's kind of underwhelming, but there are definitely some good creatures. I would say my favorite is probably the Rockbreaker. He's got a lot of usable skills and stuff. Yeah, so those are the new monsters that came out, guys. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below. And thanks for stopping by the Man Cave, and everybody have a good day.